Peace to the family. Peace to my comrades. And it's always smoke to the COINTELPRO Pro Boxing fam. Got my peanut butter. Trying to bulk up for this summer. Now she knows she cold. Peace, family. My bad. Got a little distracted. Grab a little bit of this water. I gotta say this. That brother, Brian Norman Jr. Salute my brother Eric Jordan in the building. How does Eric Jordan not have a wrench at this point? Oh, but see, I'm on this live, so now I can do it. Give my brother a wrench. My brother Eric Jordan is now a standard moderator on the channel. If you all get a chance, make sure you go watch the interview with Najee and Brian Norman Jr. I got to give that man his props. If every fighter had the warrior mindset of Brian Norman Jr., the sport would be so much better. Everything that we said was going to happen has happened. We told y'all that they were going to get into the head of Brian Norman Jr. to make him think that Devin Haney wasn't nothing. You could just walk through him, just step on him. He's a coward. And what did we say? We kept saying and telling the family, don't fall for it. And y'all kept telling all the truth tellers, no, that's not what it is. Y'all just hating. Y'all just riding the Haney's coattails. This is what you all said. You all think I'm happy to have to keep saying, look, told you so. Look, here it is again. And shout out to Najee. I don't know, that brother is working. He is getting some interviews. It takes a hell of a man like Brian Norman Jr. It takes a hell of a man to come in front of the world and say, you know what? I was wrong, man. I was in my ego and then take my competition serious. I don't care what nobody say. I have not seen any fighter have that kind of integrity after an L. The only person that has taken an L, took it on the chin, took all of the insults, right, and kept it moving and proved that he was great, is Devin Haney. Devin Haney lost to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia, comes out that he was cheating. And they take all the insults. Dev was taking all those insults, right? And we know what happened. We know how that played out. But I have to acknowledge this brother, Brian Norman Jr. Not only that, Brian Norman Jr., he didn't drag his father. He didn't disrespect him. But he made it clear, hey, man, my dad's no longer the head coach. He's no longer the head coach. I love him. I appreciate him for getting me this far. And that's that. Now, we've seen in boxing, father and son things go left. For some of you young folks, go watch Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Floyd Mayweather Sr. get into it. And you'll know what I'm talking about. But for that man to come up and say, you know what, man, I was really in my ego. I really let these people get into my head that this brother wasn't worth nothing. I really let people get into my head to think, man, he really ain't got no power. He really ain't nobody I got to worry about. If more fighters had that kind of heart, see, social media, YouTube, TikTok, all of these things, it has made the cowards and the hypocrites feel safe. And it's happening all over. Everybody's big and bad behind this, right? But then you ask them to go into a boxing gym, they're completely different. So we're talking boxing, and Feeling Awesome says, how many undocumented immigrants do you have living in your house? I'm gonna tell you what I have. I have 2 large nuts for your mother's mouth if you don't get the hell out of here. That's what I have for you. I'm talking about a boxer named Brian Norman Jr. Salute Nada in the building. That's what I got. Salute Bella Faith. But see, Bella Faith, this is where they feel safe. You understand? They have to come on here because in real life, they would never. You hear me? They would never approach you and say the things that they're saying on social media. They wouldn't. So it's a safe haven for them. And the coward came in just in time. Some of you all might not believe in this. You might think it's spooky what I'm about to tell you, but I want you to just try this experiment out. I want you to, anytime you're talking about truth, you're talking about unity, anytime you're talking about upliftment on social media, on any algorithm, I want you to pay attention to how a troll always pops up. How a spineless, gutless, piece of crap always pops up. They can't help themselves. Because, why is that, coach? What's the spooky part about it? The enemy must be present for you to be blessed. Let me say it again. The enemy must be present for you to be blessed. That is why every single time you're talking about truth, you're bigging up somebody, you're talking about unity, here they come. Here they come. Look at this. Tracy from daycare. She says, I forgot my kids at daycare. No. I put my kids in your mother's mouth this morning, and she swallowed them all. So I know where my kids are. Another thing, trolls. You trolls, listen. You can't out-joke me, family. I'm a military veteran that worked in a prison. I can get as nasty as you need and really violate you. So get the fuck out of here. To the family, my boxing family, I want to give props to Brian Norman Jr. Salute my brother Drew in the building. I got to give props for Brian Norman Jr. saying something that almost no other fighter would admit. No other fighter would admit. And it takes a hell of a lot of courage to just stand up and say, hey man, I was wrong. And I played myself. In warriorship, in sports, we will be so much further if fighters moved like Brian Norman Jr. We told y'all. A lot of y'all had fake love for Brian Norman Sr. A lot of people didn't want to believe what we were saying. You all were calling us haters. You all are haters. We are real fans. No, you're not. You're not. Because as soon as Brian Norman Jr. lost, y'all bounced. As soon as he lost, y'all bounced. And I apologize for my foul language that I used earlier. But sometimes you have to speak the language to rebuke a devil properly. Bella Faith says, I haven't watched the new Cigar Talk interview yet. I'm going to watch it. It is amazing. And I'm excited because I really want to see who Brian Norman Jr. is going to hire as his new head trainer. Who do you all think he's going to get as his new head trainer? Man. Well, under the right leadership, man, with that power that brother has, he could be a problem. He could be a real problem. Who would Brian Norman Jr. feel? Because see, Brian Norman Jr., the chemistry, he has to have the right chemistry with you. I don't know who my favorite trainer is. Everybody know my favorite trainer is Virgil Hunter. But I don't know. Brian Norman's not finna go out to the West. Who would Brian Norman Jr.? Let me see. Who's down south? Let's see. He go over to Texas. Yeah, no. He could go over to Texas, right? He ain't go to Texas. But anyway, that can be a whole nother live in itself. Ronnie Shields. Yep. Ronnie Shields. Oh man, boy. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Brian Norman Jr. fight again. So, back in the day when just a little boxing knowledge for the family. What's his name? The old mongoose. Archie Moore. When Archie Moore wouldn't bow down to the mob, they made Archie Moore fight all the champions from Black Murderers Row, trying to knock him off. I believe that that's what they tried to do with Dev. I believe that they thought that Dev was going to lose to Brian Norman and really get destroyed. And it didn't work out that way. So first off, shout out to, I don't think people are understanding the integrity of that man. Brian Norman Jr. made that fight in what? Like 2 weeks? In about 2 weeks, I think him and the Normans and the Haney sat down for the sport of boxing. Of course for themselves, but for the sport of boxing. Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney showed us all that if fighters really want to fight, they'll make it happen. Let me say that again. Brian Norman Jr. and Devin Haney showed us if fighters really want to fight, they'll make it happen. If the promoters will move out the way and let them fight, it will happen. The pass that you all are giving to Virgil Ortiz right now and using Oscar De La Hoya as the excuse is BS. And y'all are full of crap. You're hypocrites. You're hypocrites. Because if can you imagine the uproar that will be going on these YouTube spaces if Bill Haney got up there and said, well, look, if you really want to fight, take this, gets in the ring with the fighter, and then 10 minutes later says, well, we're really looking to fight Errol Spence. That's the dream fight. Can you all imagine what would happen? Salute Todd French in the building. Can you, what time is it? Can you all imagine the uproar it would be if Bill Haney said, instead of us trying to unify at 147, our dream fight is Errol Spence? We wouldn't hear the end of it. We will be seeing people drag Bill all over YouTube. We will see 2 months worth of lies on YouTube about the Haneys or Ducks. But y'all ain't got the same smoke for Virgil and Oscar De La Hoya because you are self-hating or you are race fans. You all have filled the sport with your prejudice and your cowardice. And the sport is now, I was looking at the Zuffa boxing lineup, and I already see what the play is. It's genius. They're about to take fighters who basically the casual fans and gave up on, don't care nothing about, and they are going to build narratives and stories around them because they're going to be exciting fights. I think they got Bacoli and no, not Bacoli. Yeah, I think they have Bacoli. It's either Bacoli and Martin fighting, or Martin and then what's the other brother's name that hit real hard, heavyweight? It's Martin and that other African brother. But that is going to be a banger. Thank you, Drew. Effie. That's going to be a banger. Now, my question is to you so-called boxing fans. How come we ain't been talking about these guys? How come we haven't called on the sanctioning bodies and how they throw away fighters? Call on these promotional organizations and look at how they throw it away. But hey, this is what we asked for. Now, I know why people are pissed, and I know why you all are mad at the truth tellers. You are mad because we keep prophesizing to you about what's going to happen, and it's almost scary at this point. It really is. It's almost scary at this point. If you all go back a year ago, not even a year ago, if you all go back almost 2 years ago, everything that is going on right now is happening, and we were ostracized for it. Every truth teller in the sport of boxing that have just asked for the best to fight the best and saying what's going to happen if that doesn't happen. We are here, family. We're here today. We told you what was going to happen with Turkey. It's happened. We told you how they were going to turn on Shakur. It happened. We told you how they were going to turn on Keyshawn. It happened. We told you the same way they turned on them, they was going to turn on Brian Norman Sr. It happened. We told you that Dana White was coming. You all said, no, y'all are just tripping. Somebody that's in the UFC has no idea what he's doing. He's already putting on a decent heavyweight fight. But you rather argue about if Osterman really works. You rather argue about the court details between Haney and Ryan Garcia in favor of Ryan, a cheater, and someone who disrespected your whole tribe. So I know why you're upset. You're also upset because now there are more women calling you out as well. Now, it's some nasty work when the brothers are calling you out, but it's even nastier when the women got more nuts than you. letting them hang. So I'm going to give props where it's due. And now that Brian Norman Jr. has said what he said on Cigar Talk, I bet you all he never makes that mistake again. That was a life, career-changing situation. And it takes a hell of a man. It takes a hell of a man to say when you're wrong. Thank you, Todd French. Listen to what Todd French says. Todd French says, I agree. There should always be work for fighters who have 2 to 3 losses. Everybody else keep getting work. Todd French, I gave you a wrench. Can't make it in the NFL anymore. They got places for you to go. They have smaller leagues you can play in. Still put some money in your pocket. But if you ain't the top 5 in these sanctioning rankings, man, it's almost like you sharecropping. Salute my brother Freedom's March. Same thing, family. When I watch Freedom's March and Trill Will, and they dropping that truth on their channels, every single time, it's just a bunch of trolls, a bunch of bots, and they can't give intellectual reasoning to go against what they say. All they do is insult. And we have that same thing in boxing. It's not by mistake this is happening. I think if Brian Norman Jr. just tweaks a few things and fights Rolly, he will end his career. Coach Hudson said it right here. If Brian Norman Jr. just tweaks a few things and fights Rolly this year, maybe the middle of this year, I think he will finish his career. It's all good, my brother Todd French in the building. Noah Randall in the building. Now, let me make sure, because I'm going to do something. Let's see. Okay. I'll see what's going on. So shout out to that brother, man. And if you all did not see it, make sure you all check out the interview with Brian Norman Jr. and Najee. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, family, I'm in the, what they call this thing, the car rider line. Shit, if I can find it. Man, you dude move so quick. There you go. Hold on, family. All right, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right. Hold on, fam. Let me move up. But yeah, it's not that we want to say that we know it alls, because that's not it at all. Because I don't know everything. But everything in the universe, there's a cause and effect. Everything in the universe, there is a cause and effect. So here's the next prophecy for you. Here's the next one. If these boxers don't get it together and have some type of camaraderie to at least agree on one principle, and that's to be on code. They are about to utterly destroy y'all. And this is what I mean by destroy y'all. Yeah, Clarissa Shields might have a great deal. But what about Caroline Dubois? What about Tierra Brown? What about the women coming up behind her? The sisters. What about them? Yeah. Devin Haney and Bill Haney are showing you all the economic blueprint you should be following, but because you all hate each other so damn much, they're going to bring sharecropping back into boxing. It's happening right now. Now, some are going to say, oh, coach, that ain't true. Oh, coach, that ain't it. We like 12-0 right now. We like 12-0 of things that we have told you that's going to happen, and it has happened. So I'm at a point where, hey, you all need to follow Brian Norman Jr.'s league on that. Who admitted. Listen to the interview, family. Oh, Ty French, it's all good. Listen, I already know what's coming to them. I already know they're not going to do it. For Shakur to go through what he went through with the Tom and Jerry crap, with the Zepeda fight and the disrespect, and still get up on the Breakfast Club and defend T.O., hey, man, I'm going to tell you, he better win. I'm going to leave that alone. What I'm going to tell you is, he better win. Because y'all gonna see, man. I hate being right about this. But you all are eventually going to see what I'm talking about. I don't care what your differences are with Bill Haney at this point. The fact that he is defying the economic odds in the sport of boxing with a fighter who didn't even become an Olympian is historical. That's right, Noah Randall. We not all gonna make it. And I'm fine with that. I'm at the point now where I understand. I understand when in Harriet Tubman's diary she said, you know, I would have freed more if they knew that they were slaves. I understood when Nat Turner had to kill some of his own before going to fight the true enemy. I understand. Now, some of you might think, oh, coach, that's kind of extreme. It's not. Everything starts up in the mind. The person that is going to be a Judas to you, they don't wake up and decide it at once. It starts up here. So when someone is giving you a talking point and they have cowardice in them, you hear it in what they're saying, it's up here. It's right here. Shout out to my brother Drew. I'm telling y'all, whatever my brother Drew drops tomorrow, y'all better be present. Because we were just talking and we on the same frequency. And I know he gonna cook tomorrow, so make sure you tune in. but like my brother said, everybody ain't gonna make it, and I understand now. Brian Norman said they were inviting people to the gym who were getting in my head while I was trying to train. Y'all hate this. I told you all, when Sean Zattel and Sean Porter were doing that messy crap they were doing that interview, and I spoke on it, y'all said, oh, Coach Hudson, come on, man, it ain't that serious. I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. That's why in boot camp, there were no TVs, no phones. They fed you what to think. They stripped you from what you thought you already knew because they were preparing you for a war you never fought in before. Tell me what you know. Family, so two things, because this one's supposed to be live, a long live. Number one, go check out the interview with Brian Norman Jr. and Najee on Cigar Talk. What an interview. Brian Norman Jr. said he's going to have a new head coach, but he didn't disrespect his father, but we know why. We saw what played out and how it played out. And make sure you all tune in to my brother Drew Titan, his live tomorrow, because I know he's going to cook. Hey, all 11 people in here, we need to be there tomorrow. We need to be the first ones in there. That's right, Todd French. Michael Jackson died when I was in boot camp, 2 days after my birthday. My favorite entertainer. I didn't know nothing till later, because they were preparing my mind for something I never saw before. Y'all think on what I said. Peace to the family, peace to my comrades, and it's always smoke to the COINTELPRO boxing fan.